Hi, it's Tanya from Tanya Strong Books, and I'm here to talk about teenagers. They can be difficult to shop for, especially books. But when you find good books that open their mind to creativity and you find them sneaking away to read instead of do their chores and other stuff that you would rather them do.
Look, go away! Read some books!
But I can't even be mad when I see my kids run off to read. I love it. I love seeing them read.
There are no rules in this house. I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom. Right, Regina?
Please stop talking.
So I've had lots of people through many years text me, especially around Christmas time. I get a lot of texts around Christmas time. What's a good book for my kid, for my son, for my daughter, for my grandkid? I get texts all the time, especially around the holidays, about what are some good books. But I thought, let's ask my kids. So I asked my son, my 13-year-old son, what some of his favorite books are. And he wouldn't rank them because that's how he rolls. But he was like, here are my favorite books that I really enjoyed reading and I would reread. So the first one he named was Beyonders by Brandon Mull. We have the set. Book one. Look how fun these covers are. Of course, a teenage boy would think they were cool, right? But anything by Brandon Mull, he really enjoys. And Brandon Mull is a safe author that I can buy them pretty much anything by him. This book series is recommended for grades 3 to 7, 10 and up. Okay, he also has written Fablehaven, Dragon Watch, Five Kingdoms, Candy Shop Wars, which he just had the last of the Candy Shop Wars book come out, I think in March.
Well done.
So Beyonders, my son said it might be a little violent for some younger kids because there's some guys that get like stabbed in it. But he said overall it's pretty clean and it's a fun series. Okay, the next one he mentioned is Fablehaven. I think it was published in 2006, so it's a little bit older. It's fantasy. They're all fantasy. Reading level 3 to 8 and recommended for 10 and up. And there's some creatures in it my kids said might be a little scary for some kids, but it didn't bother my kids at all. Fablehaven, I believe, is when this brother and sister live in this normal world, and then I think they go into a fantasy world, so it's kind of fun. Candy Shop Wars. He really enjoyed Candy Shop Wars. It's a new series. It's one of his newer series, and the last book just came out this year. It's recommended for grades 3 to 7. And all these books are fantasy. They're fun. The Candy Shop Wars, I think there's candies that can do magical things, change you into something or do something. I haven't read it, but my kids thought it was really fun. The next book he recommended is the False Prince series. Drop that crown! And I have to second that because I really enjoyed it. I read it because I didn't know the author. It's by Jennifer A. Nielsen. I didn't know her, so I read it first and loved it. False Prince, The Runaway King, The Shadow Throne. And then I think these ones came out later, but book 4 is The Captive Kingdom and The Shattered Castle. I've only read the first 3 and I loved them. So I bought the set for one of my kids for his birthday. And he loved it. I think even the first 2 books, I thought maybe there'd be some romance in there, some kissing, and I don't even know if kissing even happened until book 3. You kind of see something budding, but I'm I was really surprised that it was actually very action-packed, lots of twists, lots of turns. My oldest, I read it first, and so my 13-year-old and I, when he started reading it, he would come to me I think I know the twist. I'm like, do you now? And then he'd say, oh, I think it's this. And he'd be partially right. And then it would happen. He's like, oh, that was good. He enjoyed the twist. And so did I. And that one's grade levels 3 to 7, ages 8 to 12. They're considered middle grade books, but I'm an adult and I loved it. I thought it was very entertaining and very well written. She's a great writer. This is called the Ascendant series. But she also has the Traitor the Trader's Game series. I just got that recently. Book 1, 2, and 3. Got those recently. Someone bought them for me. I thought that was very nice. And so I'm excited to read that. She has the Mark of the Thief series. And then she's got some, I think, standalones. I've got another one over here somewhere. The Line of Courage. But after I read The False Prince, I was like, what else has she written? I love her writing style. And so she has A Night Divided, The Scourge, Resistance, Words on Fire, Rescue, and then Lines of Courage, I think was her latest one out. So there's some fighting scenes where people die. I didn't feel like it was super detailed, like bloody, gory, but there were times I think that people had blood on them. But I don't remember thinking that it was really bad, but my kids enjoyed it and they didn't feel like it was scary at all.
You like it?
It's wonderful.
And then the last one that he recommended is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I mean, what kids haven't read that? I'm sure your kids have read it. Book 1, 2, 3. Book 4 and 5, actually. Big ones. Big books. 4 and 5. And my kids devoured them. They read them so quickly. So I went down to Goodwill. I think it was Goodwill. I found them at Goodwill. And online even for not super expensive. So I got book 6 and 7. Fun books. There is magic and then some scary things in the movie. Some really creepy elements of good versus evil. But my oldest, I felt like he was ready for it, so I bought it for him, and he devoured it, and he thought it was really good. And then our 11-year-old read it, and he loved it. So great series. I thought these huge books would take them longer to get through, and I think they read them in like a day or two. Like, they read them very quickly. But yeah, so it's recommended for ages 8 to 12, grades 3 to 7. And, like I said, there's spells. People get killed by spells. And there's some dark elements, but I mean, I don't think they're that bad. So those are the top 5 books that my 13-year-old son enjoyed reading. And he sometimes, if we can't find books that he likes, he'll just go back to the bookshelf and reread some of these books. So try them out. If your kids have read all of those, drop me a comment. Let me know what books you think teenagers should read. Maybe there's some in there my sons haven't read and I can get them to read them. If you don't agree with these or anything, let me know. Let's talk about it. So drop a comment and please subscribe so I can keep making more content like this for you. Bye. So big. Oh, a lot of books.